Hey there, welcome to another Slightly Redneck video. It's gardening time right now. It's time to start getting plants started. It's about the end of February. So I'm making some seed tape today, and I had a Facebook friend ask if I would post a video on how to make it. Super easy to make, and they are real handy to have. So what I've got here is a plastic knife that I'm going to use, and I'll stick that in the ground whenever I plant it, so I've got a marker for what my plants are. But this will plant a 6-foot bed. It's a great way to extend your seed. You buy a packet of seeds, and most of the time you're just sprinkling them out there, try to get them spaced just right and thinning them out. With this, you can get them evenly spaced. You can really save on your seed and really extend it quite a ways longer. So anyway, I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you know why seed tape is good, so let's just get to making it. Pretty easy to make. You're going to need some toilet paper. You're going to need seed, of course. You're going to need a glue, which I'll show you how to make here in just a moment. And I like to use a toothpick, but you might be able to find other tools. I'll use this to kind of dab the glue on, so you might be able to find other things that would work well, but for me toothpicks work pretty well. I've got a pretty good technique worked out, which I'll show you, and hopefully it'll help you out. So let's get to making the glue real quick. Alright, very easy glue to make. It's just half flour, half water, equal parts of each. I don't ever really measure it out. I'm just going to put some flour in there, add a little bit of water, and if it's too thick, which usually is the first time. No, it's not looking too bad yet. Oh yeah, way too thick. I'll add a little bit more water. So what I've got is a dough here now. I need glue. So a little bit more water. Ooh, that may be too much. Anyway, if you get too much, you can always add more flour and thin it out. But what you're looking for is kind of the consistency of pancake batter. So, and that looks like a little too much. Too much water. But not that it won't work, it'll work just fine. But you want something that's pretty easy to deal with. This is a little bit thin. I'll probably add a little bit more flour to it and thicken it up a little bit. When you play with it a little bit, you'll figure out what consistency you like. I like it to be a little bit thicker so that whenever I tip the spoon, it just wants to drip off but doesn't quite drip off the edge of the spoon. I find that easiest to just kind of dip it on there. This would work just fine. It's just a little too thin for my liking. So you get the idea. I'm going to add a little bit more flour and thicken this up, but that's basically all your glue is. It's just flour and water. Get it to a thickness where you can kind of just get it to drip off the spoon and put you a little dollop of glue. So anyway, you get the idea to that. So let's move on and we'll actually get some seed tape made. Alright, so we got our glue all mixed up, and what we're going to do next is get you a piece of toilet paper. This one is 4 foot long because most garden beds are 4 feet, so this will stretch all the way across the garden bed. What I like to do is take it and fold it in half, because this is really way more toilet paper than you need width-wise. Fold it in half a couple of times, keep it fairly straight, and then I'll take a pair of scissors and I'll cut right through the middle of it. And what that does is that gives me 2 pieces of toilet paper I can use for garden tape. Now if you want to go really far, you can take this and split the ply right there and peel it apart even further, but I find that makes it too thin for me. I don't like it. It's just a little too delicate at that point. Alright, so got my toilet paper cut. I got it all laid out here. You're going to want to mark the toilet paper however, whatever distance, whatever plant spacing you need. Now I'm planting spinach seed here right now. These need to be placed about 4 to 6 inches apart, and I just happen to know that, you know, where the pleats are in the toilet paper, if that makes sense, you know, you've got the little perforated edge. I just happen to know that that's 4 inches between each one of those, so I'm just going to basically follow that as my ruler. So what I'm going to start off with is I'm just going to take a dab of this glue on the end of my toothpick. I'm going to put it right here in the corner. Put it down towards the bottom because you're going to fold this over on top of it. And then I'm going to go 4 inches further and I'm going to put another dab and I'm going to do the same thing. Now you don't need a whole lot of glue. I'm going to go all the way down. You don't need a whole lot of glue, just enough to hold a couple of seeds in spot. Now, to put your seeds on, what I found works pretty well is if I take a clean toothpick, dip it in the glue, wipe it off so I've just got a little bit on there, and I usually stick, you know, a couple of seeds to here and then just place it on there. And I like to put 2 in each section of glue. So I just pick them up like that and I place them right there in the glue. And I'm going to do that all the way down my seed tape every 4 inches. So let me get that done and then we'll come back and we'll show you the next step. I forgot to put glue there. Okay, so I've got my glue all down, I've got my seeds all laid out. Now I'm just going to simply fold this in half. If I can do this on camera from this angle. Now be careful with this. This is toilet paper. It's really thin. So just fold it in half where the seeds are. Put your finger down on it. Give it a little bit of pressure just so it'll stick together. And do that all the way down. And let that sit and dry for a little while. If you're working on a table like I am, when you push these down, sometimes they want to stick to the table. So kind of lift up on it. Don't drag it. If you drag it, you're probably going to tear it. Just lift up on it like that to get it to unstick from the table. So, and then we're going to let that dry, and I'll come back and I'll show you what to do next. So you need to let your seed tape dry for a little while. If you're curious whether it's ready or not, pick it up and press on where one of those seeds are. If it's not damp and it's not sticky, then you can go ahead and move on. If it's a little damp and a little sticky, then let it dry for a little while longer. But it only takes probably, I don't know, 20 minutes or so for these things to dry. And then what I do is I take, whatever I've got. I'm using little plastic knives right here to be able to stick those in the ground and use those as a plant marker. But just whatever you got, or you don't even have to use anything at all. But label it somehow. I just wrote on there with a Sharpie. And then just roll it up. If you hold it just right, you can get it to roll up pretty neat. I'm usually pretty sloppy about it though, because I'm not too worried about it. So make sure it's dry. If you roll it up together while it's wet, then your seeds are going to stick through to the next layer, and you're going to end up with a big root ball instead of a seed mat, or a seed ball instead of a seed mat. So anyway, that's really all there is to it. Let me get this rolled up here. I'll show you one more little trick, and then I'll get this video closed out. So I got this all rolled up, and you got this little end that sticks off here. If you take your glue, whoop, there it is. Take your glue, and you just put just a touch of it on the end of this. Doesn't need to be very much at all. And then you can roll that all the way up around and stick it down, and it'll stay on there for the most part. You may have to stick a little bit more, but anyway, you get the idea. That's a good way to get it to stick on there. So anyway, good quick video here. Nice little tip, and hopefully you learned something and enjoyed the video. And if you have requests for other things you want to see, if you see things in the background you're thinking, how did he make that? Let me know, and I'll be happy to help you out with that too. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something, and as always, God bless.